Welcome to English Lane. In this video, you're going to listen to the incredible life story of Hillary Rodham Clinton, a woman whose life has been full of courage, ambition, and service. By listening carefully, you will not only improve your English pronunciation and listening skills, but also learn how dedication and hard work can change the world. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the story. Don't forget to like this video, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to English Lane for more inspirational biographies and English learning stories. Now let's begin. Part 1. The beginning of an extraordinary journey. Early life and family background. Hillary Diane Rodham was born on October 26, 1947, in Chicago, Illinois, in the United States of America. Her family lived in a peaceful suburb called Park Ridge, not far from the city of Chicago. Her father, Hugh Ellsworth Rodham, ran a small but successful textile business. He was known as a tough, hard-working man who believed in discipline and self-reliance. He used to say to his children, "If you want something, you must earn it." Hillary's mother, Dorothy Howell Rodham, had a very different childhood. She grew up in poverty and faced many hardships. As a little girl, Dorothy was often neglected by her parents and had to work hard from a young age. Because of her own struggles, she taught Hillary to be kind, compassionate, and resilient. Hillary was the eldest of 3 children. She had 2 younger brothers, Hugh Jr. and Tony, and she was like a natural leader among them. She often helped her mother, played outside with neighborhood children, and was always curious about how things worked. Her family was not rich, but her parents made sure their children had strong values: honesty, hard work, and faith. Every Sunday, the Rodham family went to church. These early lessons of faith and responsibility became an important part of Hillary's life and guided her throughout her career. Childhood dreams and influences. Even as a young girl, Hillary was full of curiosity. She loved reading books about adventure and history. She would sit for hours reading stories of great leaders like Abraham Lincoln and Eleanor Roosevelt, both of whom later became her lifelong inspirations. When she was just 10 years old, Hillary joined the Girl Scouts of America. Through the Girl Scouts, she learned leadership, teamwork, and community service. She sold cookies door to door, helped in charity events, and often volunteered to help her neighbors. In her neighborhood, Hillary was known as a confident and energetic girl. While many girls at that time were told to stay quiet or let boys lead, Hillary believed she could do anything if she worked hard enough. She even once said to her teacher, "Why can't a woman be the President of the United States?" That question, bold and simple, reflected her belief that women could achieve just as much as men. Her childhood was also shaped by the times she lived in, the 1950s and 1960s. America was changing rapidly. The civil rights movement was rising, people were demanding equal rights for all races, and young people were beginning to speak up for social justice. Hillary admired these movements and slowly developed a desire to make a difference in the world. Education and academic brilliance. Hillary attended Maine East High School in Park Ridge. She was not just an excellent student, she was also a class leader, a debater, and an athlete. She loved sports like softball and swimming, but her favorite activities were debate and student council. Her teachers often described her as focused, organized, and fearless. During her teenage years, Hillary became interested in politics. At first, she supported the Republican Party because of her father's influence. She even volunteered for Barry Goldwater's 1964 presidential campaign when she was just 17. But as she grew older and learned more about social inequality, her views began to change. After finishing high school, Hillary went to Wellesley College, one of the top women's colleges in the United States. At Wellesley, she majored in political science and soon became involved in student politics. She was known for her leadership, determination, and ability to speak with passion. In 1969, Hillary achieved something historic. She became the first student in Wellesley's history to deliver a speech at the graduation ceremony. Her speech was honest, bold, and emotional. She criticized social injustice and called for unity and action. That moment was covered by national magazines and marked her as a young woman with a future in leadership. After graduating from Wellesley, Hillary went on to Yale Law School, one of the best law schools in the world. It was there that her path would change forever. Meeting Bill Clinton, a powerful partnership, begins. At Yale Law School, Hillary met a tall, charming student from Arkansas named Bill Clinton. Their first meeting has now become part of political legend. Hillary noticed Bill looking at her in the library, so she confidently walked up to him and said, "If you're going to keep looking at me, I think you should at least introduce yourself." That simple line was the beginning of a lifelong partnership. Both Hillary and Bill were passionate about law, social justice, and public service. They worked together on legal aid projects and helped children and poor families. Their relationship grew stronger, built on mutual respect and shared ambition. After graduating, Hillary could have easily taken a high-paying job in Washington, D.C., but she made a surprising choice. She moved to Arkansas, Bill's home state, to be with him. It was a brave decision, showing her loyalty and belief in love and purpose over comfort and prestige. In 1975, Hillary and Bill got married in their living room in Fayetteville, Arkansas. The ceremony was small and simple. Hillary wore a plain dress, and the wedding ring was bought just a day before the ceremony. That simplicity reflected their focus on values rather than luxury. Together, they would soon rise to become one of the most powerful political couples in American history. Early career and rise in public service. After moving to Arkansas, Hillary began teaching law at the University of Arkansas School of Law. She was one of the few female law professors at the time, and her students admired her sharp intellect and fairness. Soon, she joined the Children's Defense Fund, an organization fighting for children's rights. Her work there was deeply meaningful. She visited poor schools, helped children with disabilities get education, and studied the struggles of underprivileged families. In 1978, Bill Clinton was elected the governor of Arkansas, making Hillary the First Lady of Arkansas. Unlike traditional First Ladies, Hillary was not just a ceremonial figure. She actively worked on education reform, health care improvements, and child welfare programs. She chaired the Arkansas Educational Standards Committee, helping modernize schools and improve teacher quality. At the same time, she continued her legal career, becoming a partner at the Rose Law Firm, the first woman ever to hold that position there. She was named one of America's 100 most powerful lawyers by the National Law Journal in 1988 and 1991. Her reputation was growing fast as a woman who could balance family, law, and public service with grace and intelligence. In this first part, we've seen how Hillary Clinton's strong family values, brilliant education, and early commitment to justice shaped her character. From a curious little girl in Chicago to a confident law professor in Arkansas, her journey had only just begun. In Part 2, we'll discover how Hillary became the First Lady of the United States, her role in the White House, and the challenges and controversies that came with it. Stay tuned for Part 2 of Hillary Clinton's life story. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to English Lane, where you learn English through powerful real-life stories. Part 2. From First Lady to National Leader. Entering the White House, a new era begins. It was January 20th, 1993. The day was cold but full of excitement. Bill Clinton had just been sworn in as the 42nd President of the United States, and by his side stood Hillary Rodham Clinton, now the First Lady of the United States. But Hillary was not an ordinary First Lady. She entered the White House with a clear purpose: to make real changes in health care, education, and the lives of children and families. From the very first day, she decided she would not stay in the background. She wanted to use her position to serve people and shape public policy. This was something new for America. In the past, First Ladies mostly focused on traditional roles like hosting guests or organizing social events. But Hillary wanted to be involved in real political work. She once said, "I suppose I could have stayed home and baked cookies, but I decided to fulfill my professional calling." This statement created controversy, but it also showed her determination to break stereotypes. Inside the White House, Hillary quickly became one of Bill Clinton's closest advisors. She was deeply involved in policy discussions and national planning. Her intelligence and analytical mind impressed many, but it also drew criticism from those who were not ready to see a powerful woman in politics. The healthcare reform battle. One of Hillary's biggest missions as First Lady was to reform the American healthcare system. Millions of Americans did not have health insurance at that time, and healthcare costs were rising sharply. President Bill Clinton trusted Hillary with leading the Healthcare Reform Task Force in 1993, a major project aimed at creating affordable healthcare for every citizen. Hillary worked day and night, studying complex health policies, consulting experts, and visiting hospitals. She appeared in public hearings, spoke with journalists, and passionately explained the need for change. For the first time, Americans saw a First Lady working like a cabinet member. However, the reform faced fierce opposition from powerful insurance companies and political opponents. They criticized Hillary for being too powerful and said she had gone beyond the traditional role of a First Lady. Media headlines often focused more on her appearance than on her ideas. Despite her efforts, the healthcare reform plan eventually failed to pass in Congress in 1994. It was a painful moment for Hillary. But instead of giving up, she turned her attention to other issues, especially those related to children, education, and women's rights. Advocacy for children, women, and education. After the healthcare defeat, Hillary didn't stop working. She believed that small victories could still create big changes. She launched several important initiatives, such as the Children's Health Insurance Program, CHIP, which helped provide medical coverage to millions of low-income children. This became one of her biggest accomplishments as First Lady. She also focused on improving education and early childhood development. She supported programs that encouraged reading habits in children and better training for teachers. Hillary was also a strong global voice for women's rights. In 1995, she traveled to Beijing, China, to attend the United Nations Fourth World Conference on Women. Her speech there became one of the most famous moments of her career. Standing before delegates from nearly every country in the world, she declared boldly, "Human rights are women's rights, and women's rights are human rights." Once and for all, that single sentence echoed across the globe. It made her a symbol of women's empowerment and earned her respect from activists worldwide. Hillary's time as First Lady was not just about being the president's wife. She was a leader in her own right, working tirelessly to create opportunities for others. Storms in the White House, challenges, and controversies. While Hillary achieved many successes, her time in the White House was also marked by scandals and personal struggles. The most well-known among them was the Monica Lewinsky scandal, which shook the entire nation in 1998. When news broke that President Clinton had an affair with a young White House intern, the media went into a frenzy. Hillary suddenly found herself under a painful public spotlight. Many expected her to leave her husband, but she chose a different path. With dignity and calm, she stood by Bill Clinton and focused on protecting her family. She said she was determined to keep her marriage together for the sake of their daughter, Chelsea. Her decision divided public opinion. Some admired her strength, others criticized her for staying. But Hillary remained focused and resilient. She later said, "I have lived long enough to know that life is about balance and choices." In addition to personal challenges, Hillary also faced political controversies. Critics accused her of being too secretive or too ambitious. The Whitewater controversy, involving their Arkansas land investments, was investigated for years, but no evidence of wrongdoing was found against her. Despite endless criticism, Hillary's popularity among women and Democrats grew stronger. She was seen as a woman who could endure anything, a symbol of persistence, grace, and power. The end of the Clinton presidency, a new beginning. As the 1990s came to an end, the Clinton administration left behind a complex legacy. The economy was strong, unemployment was low, and America had achieved significant progress in technology and trade. But political scandals had also left deep scars on public trust. In January 2001, after 8 years in the White House, Bill and Hillary Clinton stepped out of their official roles. Yet for Hillary, this was not the end. It was just the beginning of her own political journey. During her final days as First Lady, Hillary made a historic decision. She announced that she would run for the U.S. Senate from the state of New York. Many people were surprised. Some doubted that a former First Lady could win an election on her own. But Hillary believed that leadership was not about titles. It was about service. In her campaign speeches, she often said, "I've seen what works and what doesn't. I want to use my experience to make life better for people." She traveled across New York, meeting farmers, teachers, factory workers, and single mothers. She listened carefully to their problems and promised to bring solutions. In November 2000, Hillary Clinton made history again. She became the First Lady in American history to be elected to public office. She was now a U.S. Senator. The world watched as she transformed from the president's wife into a national leader in her own right. Part 3. U.S. Senator years and rise to the presidency. Entering the U.S. Senate. After leaving the White House in 2001, Hillary Clinton decided to pursue public office on her own. She chose to run for the U.S. Senate from New York, a state far from her home in Arkansas. Her decision was historic. No former First Lady had ever been elected to public office. Many questioned whether she could win, claiming she was just the president's wife. But Hillary was determined to prove herself. During her campaign, she traveled all over New York. She visited rural towns, city neighborhoods, factories, schools, and hospitals, listening to the concerns of ordinary people. She learned about unemployment, health care gaps, education challenges, and the struggles of veterans. Her campaign slogan was simple but powerful. Experience matters, but compassion counts. In November 2000, Hillary Clinton won the Senate seat with a strong majority, making history and establishing herself as a serious political leader in her own right. The Senator from New York, Policies and Achievements. As a U.S. Senator, Hillary quickly proved she was not just a symbolic figure. She focused on key issues that mattered to her constituents. Health care. She fought for better access to health care and supported initiatives for children, the elderly, and low-income families. Education. Hillary sponsored bills to improve public schools, enhance teacher training, and expand early childhood programs. National security. After the September 11th attacks in 2001, she became actively involved in security and anti-terrorism policies. Hillary also joined several Senate committees, including the Armed Services Committee, helping shape policies on defense and international relations. Her dedication earned her respect from colleagues on both sides of the political aisle. During her time in the Senate, she was re-elected in 2006 with a significant margin, proving that New Yorkers valued her experience, determination, and leadership, challenges, and national spotlight. While serving as senator, Hillary Clinton's profile continued to rise nationally. She faced challenges from political opponents and media scrutiny. Iraq War vote. One of the most controversial moments of her Senate career was her vote to authorize the use of military force in Iraq in 2002. Critics argued it led to war, while supporters said she was acting in what she believed was America's best interest. Hillary later reflected on her vote as a complex decision during an uncertain time. 9/11. Response. The September 11th attacks in 2001 tested the leadership of every American official. Hillary supported victims, helped secure funds for rebuilding New York, and worked closely with first responders. She became known as a senator who stood for her people during crises. Through all these events, Hillary showed a balance of compassion, intelligence, and resilience, which made her a respected figure both nationally and internationally. Secretary of State, Global Leadership. In 2008, Barack Obama won the U.S. presidency. He offered Hillary Clinton the position of Secretary of State in 2009, a role she accepted, marking another historic milestone in her career. As Secretary of State, Hillary became one of the most influential women in the world. She traveled extensively, visiting more than 100 countries during her tenure. She worked on major issues, including global security, strengthening alliances, negotiating treaties, and addressing nuclear threats. Human rights, advocating for women, children, and marginalized communities around the world. Diplomacy, playing key roles in negotiations during conflicts, including the Middle East, Africa, and Asia. Hillary's tenure as Secretary of State showed that she was not just an American leader. She had become a global stateswoman with vision, skill, and courage. Preparing for the presidency. By 2015, Hillary Clinton had become a household name worldwide. Her career had spanned decades, from First Lady to U.S. Senator to Secretary of State. She announced her candidacy for the presidency in 2015, aiming to become the first female president of the United States. Her campaign emphasized experience, decades of public service and leadership, policy knowledge, expertise in healthcare, education, foreign affairs, and national security, inspiration, a message of hope, equality, and empowerment for all Americans. Millions of people were inspired by her journey. A woman who had faced criticism, personal attacks, and challenges, yet never gave up. Her candidacy marked a historic moment in U.S. history, showing that gender barriers could be broken in the highest offices of the nation. Part 4. The 2016 Presidential Campaign. Announcement and Campaign Strategy. In April 2015, Hillary Clinton officially announced her candidacy for the President of the United States. Her announcement was historic. She was aiming to become the first female president in American history. From the very beginning, Hillary ran a campaign focused on three main pillars. 1. Experience and leadership, highlighting her decades of public service as First Lady, Senator, and Secretary of State. 2. Policy and vision, promoting ideas on healthcare, education, economic growth, and women's rights. 3. Inspiration, motivating millions of Americans, especially young people and women, to participate in politics. She traveled across the country, speaking in small towns, large cities, schools, and universities. Her speeches were carefully crafted to connect with everyday Americans. She spoke about raising wages, affordable health care, and equal opportunity, emphasizing that everyone deserves a fair chance. Democratic primaries and rivalries. The Democratic primary was intense. Hillary faced a strong challenge from Senator Bernie Sanders, who represented a progressive wing of the party. Bernie Sanders' campaign focused on issues like income inequality, free college tuition, and universal health care. Hillary Clinton's campaign highlighted experience, practicality, and the ability to get things done in government. The primary season was long and sometimes contentious. Hillary won most of the big states, gained the majority of delegates, and ultimately secured the Democratic nomination. Her victory marked the first time a woman became the nominee of a major American political party. The general election campaign. In the general election, Hillary faced Donald Trump, the Republican nominee. The campaign quickly became one of the most intense and controversial elections in American history. Hillary focused on policy debates, improving health care and continuing the Affordable Care Act, strengthening the economy and creating jobs, promoting women's rights and LGBTQ+ equality, advancing global diplomacy and American leadership abroad. However, The campaign also faced negative attacks, misinformation, and intense media scrutiny. Every speech, every decision, and every photograph was analyzed by millions. Hillary and her team worked tirelessly, traveling across the country, attending rallies, town halls, and debates, often speaking multiple times a day. Historic nomination and challenges. Despite facing unprecedented scrutiny as a woman, Hillary achieved a historic milestone. She officially became the Democratic Party nominee. Millions celebrated this achievement worldwide as a step toward gender equality in politics. Her campaign, however, faced several challenges. Email controversy. Questions about her private email server while Secretary of State became a major topic of discussion. Political attacks. Opponents and some media questioned her integrity and trustworthiness. Social media pressure. The rise of social media made every word and action subject to public debate instantly. Hillary's message remained clear. I am running for president not to make history, but to make a difference. Her determination inspired many, even amid these challenges. Election night and aftermath. November 8, 2016, was election night. Millions of Americans waited anxiously for the results. Hillary won the popular vote, receiving more total votes than Donald Trump. However, in the Electoral College, Donald Trump emerged victorious. The results were shocking for many. Hillary gave a gracious concession speech, showing resilience and dignity. She said, "While I am disappointed, this is not the end of our journey. Our fight for justice, equality, and progress must continue." Despite losing the presidency, Hillary's campaign made history. She broke a major gender barrier. She inspired millions of women and girls worldwide to dream bigger. She left a legacy of public service, resilience, and leadership that continues to influence politics today. Part 5. Post-election life and advocacy. After the 2016 election, Hillary Clinton entered a new chapter of her life. Though she had not become president, she continued to be a powerful voice in politics, advocacy, and public service. Hillary focused on several key areas: writing, speaking, global advocacy, and inspiring future generations of leaders. Reflection and resilience. Following the election, Hillary took time to reflect on her decades of public service. She acknowledged her disappointment but remained determined to continue working for the causes she believed in. Hillary often spoke about resilience. She emphasized the importance of perseverance, learning from challenges, and standing strong in the face of adversity. Her message inspired millions of women and girls worldwide, showing that setbacks do not define a person's future. She said in interviews, "Greater than failure is an opportunity to learn, grow, and come back stronger." Leadership is about persistence. Her ability to maintain grace and focus after a historic political battle demonstrated her character, determination, and leadership skills. Writing and speaking. Hillary Clinton became a prolific author and public speaker after the election. She wrote several books, including reflections on her life, political experiences, and lessons in leadership. Her books were not only memoirs, but also guides for young leaders. Through her writings, Hillary shared insights about navigating challenges in politics, advocating for social change, balancing personal life with professional responsibilities. She also delivered speeches around the world. Universities, global conferences, and international forums invited her to speak. Hillary often emphasized women's empowerment, education, and civic engagement, global advocacy, and philanthropy. Even after leaving public office, Hillary remained active on the global stage. She continued to support causes she cared deeply about. Women's rights. Hillary worked with international organizations to promote education, equality, and leadership opportunities for women and girls. Child welfare. She continued supporting initiatives for children's health, education, and safety. Global diplomacy. She advised and consulted on international policies, often participating in discussions about democracy, human rights, and global security. Her involvement helped many non-governmental organizations, governments, and global leaders advance their work. Hillary became a symbol of persistence and advocacy, demonstrating that leadership extends beyond holding office. Mentorship and inspiring the next generation. Hillary dedicated significant time to mentoring young leaders, particularly young women interested in politics and public service. She encouraged students, interns, and emerging leaders to take action, speak up, and pursue their goals fearlessly. Her mentorship emphasized that leadership is about service, responsibility, and creating opportunities for others. Many young leaders credit Hillary Clinton for inspiring them to participate in civic life, run for office, and advocate for equality. Her story showed that success is not just about winning elections, but about making a lasting difference in society. Legacy and continuing influence. Today, Hillary Clinton's life stands as a powerful example of determination, intelligence, and service. Her legacy includes breaking gender barriers as the first female nominee of a major U.S. political party, advocating for health care, children, education, and women's rights, serving as a global diplomat and stateswoman, inspiring millions of people around the world to pursue their dreams and fight for justice. Even without becoming president, Hillary Clinton continues to shape discussions, influence policies, and inspire leadership. Her journey reminds us that true leadership is measured by courage, persistence, and the ability to create positive change. Hillary Clinton's life story shows that even in the face of challenges, setbacks, and criticism, one can continue to make a meaningful impact. After decades of public service, Hillary Clinton's life offers invaluable lessons in leadership, resilience, and determination. This final part focuses on reflecting on her journey, understanding her achievements, and learning from her experiences. Reflection on a life of service. Hillary Clinton's life shows that public service is not about fame or power, but about impact and responsibility. From her early days in Chicago to her role as First Lady, Senator, Secretary of State, and presidential candidate, Hillary consistently prioritized helping others, advocating for equality, and promoting justice. Her reflections often emphasize the importance of learning from failures. Despite setbacks, controversies, and challenges, she continued to serve, speak out, and inspire. Hillary once said, "Leadership is not about winning. It's about doing what's right and standing for your values." This mindset allowed her to leave a lasting mark on American politics and society. Breaking barriers for women. One of Hillary's most significant contributions is breaking gender barriers. She became the first female presidential nominee of a major political party. She inspired millions of women and girls around the world to dream bigger and aim higher. Her public speeches, books, and mentorship programs encourage future generations of female leaders. Hillary's journey proves that women can lead at the highest levels, even in the face of systemic challenges and societal expectations. Her advocacy for women's rights and empowerment remains a core part of her legacy. Leadership lessons. Hillary Clinton's life offers many lessons in leadership. 1. Persistence. Keep going despite criticism, setbacks, and failures. 2. Education. Knowledge and preparation are essential for making informed decisions. 3. Service. True leadership is measured by the positive impact on others. 4. Courage. Stand up for your beliefs even when it is unpopular or difficult. 5. Adaptability. Learn from experiences, grow, and take on new challenges. These principles can guide anyone, whether in politics, business, or personal life, toward effective and meaningful leadership. Inspiring others. Beyond politics. Even after leaving elected office, Hillary Clinton continues to inspire and influence people globally. Through books and memoirs, public speaking and lectures, global advocacy for children, education, and women's rights, mentorship of young leaders, Hillary demonstrates that one can create positive change without holding formal power. Her life encourages others to take initiative, work hard, and believe in their ability to make a difference. Legacy and final thoughts. Hillary Clinton's life story is a powerful testament to dedication, resilience, and leadership. Her legacy includes breaking historical barriers for women in politics, advancing health care, education, and children's welfare, serving as a global diplomat and stateswoman, inspiring generations to pursue leadership and public service. Her journey reminds us that leadership is a lifelong commitment. Challenges and failures are opportunities for growth. Service to others is the most meaningful measure of success. For English learners, listening to Hillary's life story offers a dual benefit. 1. Improving English comprehension, pronunciation, and listening skills. 2. Learning life lessons, inspiration, and historical knowledge about one of the most influential women in modern history. Hillary Clinton's life teaches us that courage, determination, and commitment to service can create a lasting legacy, no matter the obstacles. Congratulations! You have now completed the full story of Hillary Clinton, from her childhood and early career to White House years, U.S. Senate, Secretary of State, her presidential campaign, and post-election advocacy. Her journey is a true example of perseverance, leadership, and inspiration, offering lessons for all generations. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to English Lane, where you can learn English through inspiring real-life stories.